It is that time again. We are dreaming reality. Today, the question is, who loves pain and suffering? The answer, y'all. So my name is Joseph. And on the screen there you can see a snapshot from my Facebook page. While that is there, I like to post there, not as much as I used to, but I used to like to share my thoughts. My Facebook. Anyway, that is there. Finishing up something real quick. Okay, now I can move along. So this is my page, my space, my release here on YouTube. Dreaming reality with God and music. Kind of a side note. Okay, so today is Wednesday, September 23rd, 2020. I am in the golden state of California. It is coming up on 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I am in the San Joaquin Valley, the Central Valley. Bread Bowl provides a good chunk of the world's food. So, as always, I'm still asking what is truth, what's real, what's lies. So, possible thoughts in this stream: U.S. election, intelligence, awareness, consciousness, music, God, music, UFOs, state of the world, and always a smorgasbord of thought with me. I always feel the need to remind everyone to wake up. We're all pretty good at that by now. We know how to wake up. At least I thought we did. Wake up and stand up. Another one of those things that think we're all accustomed to. It's that last part. Once you're standing, you need to speak up. You need to speak up and share your mind, your thought, your heart, your wishes, your desires, your hopes. Wake up, stand up, speak up. And vote. If you are in the United States of America, a citizen, days away, it will be time to vote for your president. Everybody should vote. If I were in legislation, that would be something I would have that would be in the works. That's like a life, if I were to be in politics. Like a lifetime decision. That would be something that would be with me for my life. Working to achieve everybody voting. It's not like it demands this unreasonable amount of time from anyone's day. It doesn't. It's pretty much in and out process. And there is no reason we have technology. If it were not for dishonesty, insincerity, no trust, and go on and on. If it were not for those things, voting could be done from your home, your computer, your phone. There's nothing to... there's no physics. There's no chaos that should arise from voting in such a way. It's all the other factors that come into play. Unfortunate, but you can vote in person. You can mail in a vote that you requested. Nothing wrong with that. Who knows what's happening in the world right now? Let's see, I know that in Kentucky, Louisville, there are many out on the streets. Yeah. It's starting to get dark, I imagine, over there. Time to start the fires. That's the mindset. I would imagine that's what these people are thinking, because they don't seem to be using logic. There's like this, is it natural? Is it nature? Some animal instinct to behave in the way that a lot of people are? I'd like to say I know the answer and this is the answer, but it's this day and age. It's like you got to choose what you're going to put out there, because censorship is rampant. It's very, very rampant. Love, who loves pain and suffering. And I could go to Louisville, Kentucky and see what's going on real time right now. And there's still people out on the streets. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? I don't understand why it's happening. I guess that's where I'm I'm at a loss. I feel like the legal system prevailed. It did what it needed to do, and it was the logical course of direction if you're going to abide by law. If you want to change the law, that's a completely different story. Now, going out into the streets the way these people are is not the way to do it. And destroying property. I saw earlier today they were going into businesses, or not going into businesses, but like a outside patio restaurant, tossing chairs. And there's quite a few people marching. So I'm going to get back to all that. The state of the world. I'll come back. In the meantime, I do want to, I think, begin this stream with music. And the intelligence that I speak about, speak with, on some level. I don't know how any other way to put it. I don't hear words. I mean, I'm not hearing voices in my mind. I've never heard voices, and I've never expressed to anybody that I hear voices, because I don't. The only thing I hear is me and my thoughts, and I do an awfully lot of that. So this intelligence, this God is intelligence. Okay? I think in this day and age, the 21st century, we've come pretty far in our understanding of what's happening to some degree. A lot more than we did 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years ago. And with that, I think that an understanding of God only makes sense. A 21st understanding. And that is that, for one, God is intelligent. Smart. God is smart. Smart as they come. Smart as they come. God is aware, just as you and everyone is aware. How? Why? Because of consciousness. consciousness, being. This intelligence, because I think it's easiest to put it that way, without closing everybody's door, to place it into the category of intelligence. It's intelligent. Very, very intelligent. Whatever it is that you want to reside with, come to, that's all choice. In the end, it is intelligent. Beyond belief. We're 2,000 years, 4,000 years, 10,000 years. It has no relevance to this intelligence. Beyond time. It's timeless. God is timeless. Intelligence understands that. Can eventually, one day, one time, this intelligence, it's here. It's here right now. It's always here, always. It is the ultimate what's the best way? Gathering data. It's the ultimate when it comes to that. That means gathering data. Knows all. It knows all. God knows all. See, if I say God, the doors start closing. If I call it an intelligence, it's whatever it is, it's intelligent. Okay? It's intelligent. Now we can discuss, elaborate, but first you have to understand and embrace the idea that there is an intelligent whatever here. It's always here, it's always been here, and always will be here. You have no input over where it resides, where God resides. God is everywhere. See, now, I think when you focus on God, especially now on a world where there are 7 billion plus, and so you imagine, okay, then there's a God, and it's very burned, I think, this image of a single entity, an old, wise, bearded man on a throne, and so then you take that and expand on it, and how can 7 point whatever billion people have that time, that moment with that single entity? God. Intelligence, a state of mind, So, before I start to stray, let me get back to the music. On January 25th of this year, 2020, I did something that I do regularly, or at that time I did very regularly. Currently, it's not as often, but I do continue to do this, and it involves listening to music that is randomly played, shuffled up. You don't know what's going to play, and you have no control over what's going to play other than, say, if you were using an app like Pandora, which I do use, you can build a playlist of your favorite kinds of music: country, rock, classical, new age, jazz, whatever. And each of those types, those categories, have lots of music within each categories, and you can add a lot to your playlist, your fave, and then have it shuffle. So on January 25th, that is what I did. Now, I thought thoughts. You have a conversation in your mind. I mean, that's how it works. I mean, if one is going to go into this with an open mind, could something happen? Could something be happening? It's only going to happen with an open mind. So you have a conversation in your mind, and you treat it as if there were someone present. God, an intelligence is there. It's there. Can't see it, but you know it's there. And with all the conviction your heart can hold, you begin a conversation quietly in your mind. Letting this, it's easier, obviously, if you attach some sense of identity to sorry about that. I wanted to turn something on. Where's the slideshow at? Okay, there. I'll turn that on. Identity. More personal. I always imagine more and more a relationship. Any relationship that begins and grows. And that happens by sharing your thoughts, your insights, your feelings. And then this other that you're with does the same. Okay? This intelligence uses the music to play back answers, thoughts, I'm not going to go real deep into this because I've done every time I bring it up, I'm still trying to understand and share about it. I have no doubts. That there is an intelligence somehow, some way that is here, and it is reaching out to all of us. Reaching out to all of us. Trying to communicate. Trying to let you know that I'm here. You see me, I am here. People are like, well, I want to see God. Music isn't enough for some. On January 25th, I began my day heavy in thought. Coronavirus. I was already deep into thought about the COVID-19. I was spending some time looking, searching for the most current information that you could find, and was already feeling that whatever this was at that time was created. It wasn't accidentally, or nature didn't put it there. So I was already on that page. So I woke up, stood up, and spoke up in my mind, directed towards this intelligence. God, Father, friend, letting it know my thoughts, what I'm thinking about this virus, and it's killing people, and outbreaks, and all of it, everything that was going on at that time, and then my thoughts on top of it. And I wanted to know what does this intelligence have to say. It was one of those things I didn't want to keep coming back to it and asking again. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Why this? Why is that happening? I wanted to just, in my mind, I'm thinking, this is this is the only time I'm going to spend my mind with you in thought about this this COVID-19, everything that is unfolding. And so I go to pull up my Pandora, and the first song played, but then I had problems. Pandora is weird sometimes, at least for me. You know, like skip the song, skip a song. Sometimes you don't even know what the song was. It's so brief. Anyways, right after the first song played, it began to do its trip down thing. So I waited. I don't know how long I waited, and then went to do it again. This is only minutes. Played a song, and I went with that, coming back from the glitch and pause that had been on. And then it did it again. And I was like, oh, okay. A couple more minutes or a few more minutes. Try the third time. Third time's a charm, right? I like threes. And it did it again. So there's these three instances of I can't get a continuous flow of 3 songs playing. But I snapped them all. Took a snapshot. And then later on in the day, it's actually locally in the morning, afternoon, noon, when I first turned on Pandora. So it wasn't until the early evening when I came back, and it played 2 songs, and then it played a piece of classical music. Now, I have certain things that I've kind of put in play. Maybe I am out of place by doing so, or it's the other, and it makes sense. But I have put in my mind the thought that when a piece of classical music plays, something of that kind of genre, that is this intelligence, its way of, it's like intermission music. You know, simply, it's good intermission music, just a pause. So I thought, okay, I let it play to see what the next song would play after that, and I wanted them 3. And I think what was the second waltz? So I thought I'd put that in the same genre, the classical, and it's like that intermission again. So I couldn't stop, I had to let it go. And then I got to the Pink Floyd track from so the first song of the day, Casey and JoJo, Crazy. Kind of a sign of what was to be during that whole... when I came back minutes later, and just before noon, Testifying to Love by Avalon. Then 18 minutes later, a little more, Keep on Loving You, REO Speedwagon. Again, there was these weird glitches. Now this was 7:30 p.m. later on that night, and I felt like this was destiny. Again, I'm thinking about this virus. What is this all about? It's my life. It's my life. This whole thing is so huge. Then there's the classical, the intermission, and again, some more. The second waltz. Happiest days of our lives. Pink Floyd, The Wall. Clint Eastwood, Gorillas, and the number 10, because I didn't get paused in time, so that When Doves Cry from Prince was playing at the time that I took that snapshot to show what had been playing. Anyway, this intelligence is here. It is, you know what, and it has been crazy. This virus has been crazy. And it does feel like this. Like it's happening because it's beyond my control. I mean, it's happening. It's out of my control. That video on the right side, I grabbed it from videotape. Some animation. I began to have a liking in the animation. Anyway, the music, God, this intelligence, is so important. This world, let's see. They're still marching. Protesting. Oh yeah. Crazy. Okay, I'm starting it's getting dark there on the East Coast. Okay. Turn that off. We're all awake. We all stood up and we all spoke up. And if you're here with me, I hope you're learning to dream reality with God. God is love. So I also always, that's definitely one of those thoughts that I put out there when I'm streaming. It's right there on the right side of the screen. Love, time, peace, now. Okay, I've decided to turn the old camera on. Make some adjustments here. Pain and suffering. That's what these people out here are inciting. I'm watching them. I have on the side here, corner of the screen. Louisville protests, riots. This is all shouldn't be happening. And the fact that it is happening should be, you should be waking up. There's no more law, kinda. It's like real dodgy right now. It's early. It's 8:30 on the East Coast. 5:30 here on the West Coast. Excuse me. There's been a lot of pain and suffering going on. It's being incited. Everything's being done to exacerbate it. Because this is not the way you solve a problem. Out in the streets. Screaming, yelling. F you. F you. A lot of that. How is that fixing anything? And then the destruction of property, that's the real mind blower. Yeah, you know, it's the end. It's got to be the end. I mean, people came out over this ruling that these police were not. And they didn't kill this person. There wasn't an intent. They were responding to being shot at on the other side of a wall, on the other side of a door. Somebody's shooting at you. Yeah, y'all love the pain and suffering. Y'all need to take these people that have that kind of mentality, that think that that's wrong for that kind of a reaction that these police officers chose. And you ought to take them and put them through a test and put them into that situation where they're armed and ready to protect, and they suddenly are being shot at. I mean, it's all simulated. It's not real bullets or anything like that. It's a test to see what that person's going to do, so we can get to the bottom of this debate, because it's one that just seems to go on and on and on, the same thing. It's like there's just certain things that you don't need a rocket scientist to make a ruling. It's absolute crazy what's happening right now. That's why it's got to be the end. So many I think are on that page. It's all leading up to that. Something huge is coming. And if people are out in the streets reacting in the way that they are over the verdict, where are they with why was the person shooting on the other side of the wall to begin with? And what was the person who got shot that they're protesting over, that they feel shouldn't have been shot? What was she doing there in this space where there was an individual with a gun and had no qualms with replying to knock, 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 it's the police, with gunfire through the door, through the wall, whatever. I don't know all the specific details. I haven't looked too heavily into it, because there's just some things you don't need to. I got enough of what basically went on. It's unfortunate that anybody died. But to react to it in the way that people are using it as an excuse to go out and misbehave. It's like, that's, yeah, the people are responsible. All of the people, everybody's responsible for allowing this to take place. It's not good custodianship, parenting. There's no direction. The world really doesn't have a direction that's focused. There's all these different entities. They're all vying for control. So you got all these people that, this is the best that they could find to spend their time, feeling like they're changing the world. They're changing the world, all right. Ending it. They are ending the world. Pain and suffering. We love the pain and suffering. We can go back to Jesus. The scripture and talks about Jesus, and we all, why would you hang anybody on a cross, on a tree, anywhere, nail them to it, if you did not want that person to endure pain and suffering? One must love pain and suffering, the idea of pain and suffering, to allow for that to happen. I don't think we learned anything, because pain and suffering. Look at all the pain and suffering that's being created right now, has been created, continues. Wonder who the judge nominee is going to be, because that's going to be more riots. More riots. How are those riots going to be? Because what's happening over this verdict, I haven't really been paying heavy attention to the news, but I don't think that there's been a push for rioting by Democrats. Not that there isn't. I feel there's been more focus on the whole who's going to be put into the empty seat, the next female judge, which that's being put out there. Riot. Pelosi wants to impeach. Well, I'm going to impeach. I don't know what her exact words, but she's made that very clear of late. We'll impeach Trump again. We'll put you people through that process again. I told my friend that the other day. They're Democrat, and they said that that's the kind of thinking that would make her consider voting for Trump, because she understands that that's just crazy. I mean, you're going to, again, that's never gone anywhere in the past. They keep trying and trying and trying, like all of a sudden it's going to stick now over a president who's following what's in the Constitution, his job, or her, if it's she's not the president. So she doesn't get to make that decision. But she's put that out there a number of times, her being president. Well, I would be the president. I've checked into it. I asked the committee. And said, yeah, you would if Trump were not there. I'm going to say it again. That woman needs to retire. Let somebody else have a go. You're 80 years old. You've been doing what you do for decades. Again, I'll say it again, that I retire or go on an extended vacation. I don't know, but you take Joe Biden with you, your families, all of you, retire together and enjoy the moment, and let somebody else have a go. I say take Joe because I think that you two could have conversations. You seem to both understand each other. You both speak the same lingo. Some kind of, it's a spin on the English language, a spin-off of the English language. I don't understand it when I listen. I spend more time thinking, did I hear what I think I heard? Because that was just crazy. So yeah, I want to keep hammering that one in to you. You two, I could just see it. The two of you having a conversation. You got the families in the background. Husbands, wives, kids, grandkids. And then there's you two in the forefront. Sipping on a pina colada, Mai Tai, whatever tickles your fancy. But you got one in your hand, both of you, and you're drinking it, and you're having your conversation. And the viewer, the world, gets to witness this 3 minutes, at least 3 minutes, of a conversation between the two of you. 3 minutes of the audience wondering, what? What? All the while, you two are having what appears to you two as a meaningful conversation. Laughing. Yeah. Just good old time. Yeah, I get you. I totally understand. We're on the same page. That kind of rapport between the two of them. Yeah, I would love that. That would be priceless. And it's so easily attainable. All they need to do is get together in a room and have a conversation. Unscripted. No screens. Teleprompters. None of that. Yeah. Y'all love your pain and suffering. You do. And it's big business. It's lots of money. Lots of money. There's so much corruption in this world. There's no accountability. It's just truly a free for all. The problem is the all has found itself in this day and age in the hands of a very, very few. And you can't get it back. It's in their hands. They own it. Fair and square. There is an intelligence here. And it has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with pain and suffering. It has no love for pain, for suffering. If there is any love that could ever be found, it would be that moment when one realizes, learns pain and suffering and an appreciation in that you don't want it anymore. No more. No, I don't like pain and suffering. I don't want pain and suffering. I don't want to extend pain and suffering outwards to another intention. No intentional thought goes into those kinds of actions. That's the way it should be. This intelligence is here. It's here right now. And I know people are looking for, they want to be able to take their cell phone out, their phone, and snap a picture. There, see, there's God. Now what? Where are they? Oh, they left. Said they'd come back. But I got this picture. Oh, really? And you say this is God? Yeah. That's what they told me. And I just assumed that since they magically materialized in front of my eyes, that must be who they say they are. Just seems like that's what people are waiting for. That's and without it, it's like there's no that's end of discussion. There's nothing more to say. And if you do, then you're a rambling, crazy fool. There are no pictures of God. Not in a focused sense, as in a person, a point, a person, a thing. It's just not, just like UFOs are never going to land. Maybe I should shift gears some and talk about some UFOs. That's definitely near to my heart. It's a huge piece of this puzzle. It makes sense. Again, I live in the 21st century. I don't live in the first century. It's not the same world. The things that people talk about then are not the things people talk about today. All the things that the people talked about back then, those things today, they still exist, but more on a subconscious level. They're just kind of there and accepted, and if anything, worthy of actually bringing out into the open. One can, but I'm in the 21st century. I live in a world of technology that has helped me spend more time thinking about more things than I ever thought one could ever think about, and knowing that it is endless. It just never stops. So you have to make the choice to make a stop, a pit stop, take a break, catch your breath, catch a Z or two or three. This intelligence. I mean, if there's going to be a landing, what are they waiting for? What? I mean, if somebody can give me a reason, it needs to be a good reason, I'll listen. And if it makes sense, I will advocate it. But I don't hear much good sense. Because I feel at this point in time, it's still one of those topics that there's... I think there's a lot of good data out there, but it's all so scattered. Nobody has a whole picture. Everybody has a little piece. And there has not been a true melding search to use all that data to find a more tangible answer to what this is, what is happening, what's taking place. They're not going to land. They're just not. They're from a timeless. This intelligence exists in a timeless state. And it's hard to understand what that is, because you've never been in a timeless state from your perspective or mine. What's it going to be like forever when you take that first step into forever, into eternity? How are you going to know? what's going to be the defining moment between right now and that moment when you are within forever? You understand that, you embrace it, you breathe it, however, whatever that means. To be conscious and aware of forever, eternity. There is no beginning, there is no end. And either you can pick either side to begin searching for an answer, and it's the same. You can go to the beginning, and you're always going to be left with, well, what came before? How did that beginning, what made that beginning possible? I mean, nothing. That's the only answer that seems to be what you have to accept. It was nothing. Or you accept and live your life with the understanding that to every beginning there will always be a question as to what came before that. And as for the future is the end for one, for me, for you, for anyone, one. But the world still goes on. One by one, there's that future that always has another future that extends on. You can never, there is no end. Everything is energy. I believe that. Everything is energy. Back to landing. Landing on that White House lawn. I got my space. Operation Space Force t-shirt on today. InfoWarsStore.com. Pick yourself one up. I want the Joe Biden for nursing home. That's one I'd like to pick up. Maybe next week. They're limited edition, so you gotta get them before they're gone. E.T., aliens, all these aliens, all these races, and makes money. You know that? It does make money. I sold for a couple of years. I would buy, they were shadow box collectible figures. They were plastic figures, 3 to 6 inches in length, depending on the alien. And there were 10 in that series. And I would buy them on eBay when I would see people selling them cheap. I would definitely pick them up, and people sell a lot. Some businesses may sometimes getting rid of their extra stock. Anyways, I was buying those and then turning around and selling them, and those would sell. They just did. Some figures, I guess, maybe there weren't as many made and harder to find, and they would generate some pretty good money. So people are fueling that. The money comes from the people. And that whole ET and alien, they're here. It generates a lot of money. Movies, books, and everything is just somebody's thought, a possibility, because there's nobody that has proof. At least not out in the public domain. Nothing, just once and for all, you can't, it's no longer a debate. You can hold it in your hand, or you're, better yet, you're standing beside an intelligent being. It's not happening. Again, I'll come back to, what are they waiting for? If that's what it comes down to, that the day will come and they will land, and we'll all sing Kumbaya. Why are they waiting? If they're here, why are they waiting? Because they're not waiting. Humans are waiting. Waiting, not them, because they're not coming. No reason to. How does a timeless state simultaneously exist with this linear state of time that we currently cohabitate within? How? Or can you think of how that works? Timeless. The end and the beginning, all. Again, this is what the Bible says. God is all. The end and the beginning. Eternal. So I'm not blaspheming. I'm not telling lies. I mean, God returning. Why wait thousands of years? What's the point? There is no point in waiting for thousands of years. Especially if you consider that thousands of years have gone by since this event is said to have taken place. And it's awful. I mean, it is awful right now. And it's all around the world, simultaneously occurring. And it's ramping up. It's ramping up. And by election day, I'm waiting for the debate. They gonna have a debate next week? Is Joe gonna debate Donald? Is that gonna happen? I don't think so, but I'm not the one that decides whether it happens or not. I'd love to see it. That would be rank right up there with and a great TV, a great viewing moment, just as being able to watch for 3 minutes Joe and Nancy on some beach with their families in the background, and Joe and Nancy are having a conversation. That it would rank right up there with that viewing pleasure. Watching Joe Biden and Donald Trump have a debate. Well, I will say this. Once again, this intelligence is here, and it is reaching out to everybody. Some are tuned in, others are not. Why is this happening? For me, I think it's a sign. It's a clear sign. I'm awake. It woke me up. It keeps me awake, so to speak, with this realization, this new way of moving through the world, through life, through time, reality. It's I think it's amazing what lies ahead for each and every single one of us. It would be awesome to see everybody there all at once, but it's a choice. We all choose when we will make the choice to embrace a lot of things that we deny. We're all in this together, all of us. We're all connected. We're all one. We all emit a life force, a life energy, a signal. It emits. It's like a radio tower. Sends out a signal. Your body's just no different. It's happening right now. All of us. And the closer you get, the closer those signals are able to reach out and connect, touch. Well, let me say this again. I haven't said this in the last couple streams. This is an ounce. It's an ounce of silver. 1 ounce. I think it would be wise to pick up a few. Just a few, just start, just something. And I'm speaking to those people that are, I guess, more in my camp, don't have a lot. And, but something like this, it's not like gold. Gold's almost a couple grand, if not. I haven't checked of late. And this is, 20 plus, under 30. I don't know the exact amount, but it's something that is obtainable. You just got to make some decisions, a little less of something that you're used to in order. You got to make sacrifices. This is going to be worth it, because the dollar at some point will become worthless. It will. That's the plan. Look at how much in debt we are. And we ain't finished. We just getting started with debt and on levels that just are mind-boggling. Like right out of the blue. Till next time. Tomorrow. Be well. And smile. And thanks for stopping by and spending a moment here, dreaming reality. Try it. Might like it.